prototyping, and other tools such as code, edge cases, performance, and all the sharp corners start improving the work. That is where the craft shows up, where design code tools can be useful. And then next is the other process part is architecture. So architecture is full of constraints, more constraints than software will ever have, like materials, gravity, weather, budgets, labor, code, zoning, and even politics. So yet it still often starts with sketches, not because sketching is pure or nostalgic, but because it is a way to separate form from construction long enough to find something worth constructing. So a sketch is not a smaller version of the final building. It's a different mode of thinking. It gives you permission to be wrong in interesting ways and to paint very broad strokes. You don't design houses by iterating from one corner to a full house piece by piece. I talked to a talented architect who was designing the most modern and sculptural house in a town known for traditional cabins. The ordinance demanded the local style. Um, Starting from the ordinance would have produced something predictable and safe. Instead, the architect started from an idea that respected the landscape of that area, involved the neighbors, built support, and when the plan reached the council, the community backed it. The rule bent. The architecture fit the landscape and the community, even if it didn't technically fit the ordinance. If we let constraints define the space too early, you do not just get a worse outcome, you lose outcomes that never get discovered. Then you have tools. So, about tools, tools have opinions. They make certain actions easy and others annoying. Over time, they teach you what is reasonable to attempt. Some tools are great for exploration, they help you stay expressive and uncommitted. Others are great for construction. They reward structure, consistency, and correctness. Both are useful. The mistake is collapsing the entire act of design into a medium that is optimized for commitment. So I do not think designers should avoid code. Software is the material. Being ignorant of it leads to fantasy, but there is a difference between understanding the medium and letting the medium control you. So, code is a medium of commitment. Designing inside an existing systems means inheriting its past decisions. You gravitate toward what is already supported. You make smaller bets because the cost of a big swing becomes obvious immediately. The result is often work that is elegant inside the current system, but less likely to change the system. And then you have unification. So I understand the desire to unify tools and workflows. The handoffs are pretty lossy. Quality decays in the seams between notes, designs, prototypes, roadmaps, and code. The dream of a coherent universe is compelling, for sure. A world where ideas move from chaos to clarity without translation loss. So yeah, this is where builders can build and builders can design and designers can build. So I see the desire, and it can be good, but unification has a shadow side. It can turn into standardization. So if everything is built from the same primitives, you get the same patterns repeated across teams. Tools raise the floor, but they also lower the ceiling if they quietly define what is worth attempting. If the easiest path is always the most conventional path, convention becomes the product. Our industry is somehow overly allergic to fragmentation. I'm not sure what it is really about. I actually think it's a very human thing to have some level of fragmentation. Different tools, different spaces, environments for different purposes or mindsets. I might be proven wrong, but I don't believe in great unification. And I think often it might be driven by a need to dominate industries instead of letting many flowers bloom and letting each flower be very good its own way. Yeah. And so here's what I actually believe. So I'm not interested in preserving a very romantic separation between design and engineering. I'm not. Some designers should code at times, some engineers have a great taste and should design. Some projects thrive when one person can take an idea all the way through. The thing I want to preserve is a phase of thinking and not pretend it is not worth our time. So early design needs freedom, later design needs form. It kind of needs reality. So when those phases get collapsed, you can still ship, often faster than ever, but you might also trade the search for the shortest path. You're not doing that entire research. So my belief is simple: use whatever tools you want, but be deliberate about what mode you are in. Protect exploration from premature constraint. Don't bring in constraints early on. Invite constraints when you're ready to learn from them. Use code as a feedback, not as a cage. And new technology makes things faster to build, but it's not really what design is about.